Hello, class. I'm making a recording for you. If you catch me saying an or let me know the timestamp. I will make sure I don't say one. And one of the important reasons that I'm referring to this is because when you write an essay, no one is going to say or so or like or you know. And when you do your presentations verbally, I want to make sure that you don't type up your speech word for word. If you do, you're going to read, your eyes are going to go darting back and forth. It's not going to be effective. I would rather you, for sure, practice your speaking so you do say those uhs and ums, but just have your keywords and bullet points. Your PowerPoint presentations is the first aspect that I want to talk about. Some of you have done extremely well, while others, it's become more evident that either you are not listening to the lectures or you're simply disregarding the lectures over here. We had mentioned many times to avoid certain topics such as Walmart and Target or Samsung and Apple, for example, or Costco as well. That being said, the PowerPoint presentation slides are already graded. What I would recommend for you is to potentially change them so that when you do your presentations, you won't get deducted for that. For the slides as well, your grades are already in. For many slides, you have way too much text. The visuals are blurry. The charts are there, but they're not in separate slides, so it becomes too difficult to see. And we also need to make sure that when you talk about the sales and marketing, we have an X and Y axis so we understand what units we're looking at, maybe what year. There has to be a lot more work into those components. Also, again, keep in mind that we want to avoid the stock images. If you have an image of product, make sure you're able to explain it. Even if it's a storefront, perhaps you can tell us where it's from. The more personalized and specific you can give any detail, the better it is. Remember, you're the expert in this case. As you can see, I'm having direct eye contact with you for the last minute or so. This makes the presentation a whole lot better than if you're just darting your eyes back and forth. I want to give you some pointers now for your actual presentation. Number one, we have to be able to see you and see you completely. When you have a Zoom call, I like to make sure that you're not just one little thumbnail in a strip of other thumbnails of your audience. Please and keep in mind that you need 5 people in the audience and they have to have their cameras on. If it is in person, we just have to make sure that we see those 5 people, but you can move back and show you in the camera fully. When you do your presentation, if it is going to be on Zoom with other people, make sure number one, you hit spotlight on yourself. That way you should appear larger. Secondly, when you hit the share function, there usually is on the right side where it says optimize video. Do not optimize the video share because then it's only going to show the screen. What you should do is you should click on it where it's 50-50%. That way you should be able to be seen at the same size as yourself along with the slides. Now, we have different devices, Macs, Windows, so on and so forth. I please ask that you avoid doing this on a phone or an iPad, but at the very least, a laptop or a desktop to ensure that we can see the most of you. Because when you do a frame of the phone, you are caught up just over here vertically, and we want to be able to see all of you as possible. Now, the background that I have right now is in my father's room. My father's older, so you can see there's a wheel walker over here, and those are some other aspects that he uses. Make sure that you don't just blur your background because we want to have more of a professional look. Try your best to have a background that you can just clean up. So this over here can be moved aside. Take care of your backgrounds just a little bit. The blur backgrounds become problematic, especially at work when you do not have Zoom as a meeting, but you have Microsoft Teams or Google Meets. They may not have a blur function or may not have as good as one, and that becomes an issue. Again, this is a big presentation for you as well as the Shark Tank presentation for you. Make sure that you are dressed more professionally or at least non-distracting. Let's avoid any graphic t-shirts unless it's part of the reason why you're mentioning it. Let's make sure that we shave, we comb our hair a little bit, and just look as presentable as possible. You are the experts for your presentation. I've covered all those important aspects now, just to make sure that you understand that we need to see you at least on a 50-50 Zoom. Another tip that you can have is for a lot of people, they have a television, and what they do is they project their slides over there so that you can see yourself and the slides, and it becomes a live presentation. So you don't have to just do screen share. This is the more professional way to do it. Just make sure that we can see both. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, because we've had students move around and it becomes really distracting, please make sure that you get with standing level and you are at eye level. Sometimes what it takes is a little bit of a riser. Second, a riser, and then you put the riser on top of a chair, you put the chair on top of the desk, and then congratulations, you are at eye level. We talk about this because we want to make sure that you're avoiding looking down at the audience and you look as professional as possible. These are some pointers that I wanted to tell you here in the live lecture, just in case. Now, in preparation for the Shark Tank, I just want to make sure that you do have an actual visual aid and you are more creative with what you're saying. Start messaging me, emailing me about your potential Shark Tank presentation. That is also a large one. And we want to make sure that you're creative. Have a prototype at least. If you cannot make a makeshift product, at least have a drawing or a diagram of what it is that you'll be presenting so it makes sense for us over there. Please watch all the lectures. This is for your own benefit. We're coming down to the final stretch. Put in your best efforts and work. Everything that we've talked about to this point, if you keep following along, it will just be all right, even better, fine, or fantastic. This is my video for all of you. Make sure that you follow along, and I'm excited to see how you do moving forward. All right, I'm going to post this up now. Remember all the points I said, and you will be okay.